Welcome to the Man Over Machine presentation. I'm Dr. Jorge Castañeda, CEO of the Tony Busan organization, and I have a very important question for you. As we stand at the precipice of a new era dominated by artificial intelligence, will machines eventually exert control over our world? This seismic shift raises critical concerns about the future of jobs and the broader economy and society. Will artificial intelligence lead to widespread job displacement, or will it unlock unprecedented opportunities? In this presentation, you'll discover the key to human success in a world increasingly defined by complexity, dynamism, and uncertainty. And the FUNny is a good acronym for understanding our world as well as its challenges and opportunities. The world is fragile, and it can appear to function well even when it's on the verge of collapse. For example, supply chains, energy, and world trade can cause regional collapses and eventually trigger, like dominoes, major world crises. Information overload creates a big problem, anxiety, and this leaves you powerless for making decisions when you're pressed against the wall. In fact, you become passive. You see how things happen without any action on your part. And this creates a vicious circle of more anxiety and depression. And we live also in a non linear world where it's complex to determine the real causes of problems. And problems can be amplified in an accelerated fashion. For example, the delicate flutter of butterflies in Brazil could cause a big tsunami in Los Angeles, California. Or a local virus can cause a pandemic in a short time. Everything connects to everything else. And living in a fragile, anxious, and non-linear world makes most events, causes, and decisions incomprehensible because more information doesn't mean more meaning. In fact, it leads to the opposite. The noise increases. And this funny scenario could seem like a dystopia that threatens the sustainability of the world. However, we've never had better opportunities to create a bright future for humanity. And this is by leveraging the world's dynamics via the right formulas. So the underlying question is, what is the key success factor and what is the right formula for discovering and managing opportunities that arise from this funny world? And the World Economic Forum, through its research about the future of jobs, sheds light on this very question by suggesting that the three vital skills to manage the funny world are problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity. And how is the world in these skills? Regarding problem solving, in the investigation conducted by PayScale International with more than 65,000 HR managers, more than 60% of these managers asserted that new employees don't have the basic skills to solve problems. And regarding critical thinking, the most recent test conducted by MindEdge, which represents the gold standard for measuring this skill, found that 74% of millennials failed the exam. And the seminal study on divergent creativity, originally conducted by George Land for the NASA and currently extended to more than 250,000 participants, determined the percentage of people who use divergent creativity by age range. And this type of creativity drives breakthrough inventions such as new technologies, disruptive business models, or new cures for diseases. Regarding kids in kindergarten, 98% of them use divergent creativity. And kids at elementary schools, do they raise this level or at least maintain it while they acquire more knowledge? Not at all. This drops to less than 32% of kids. And what about high schoolers? Do they recoup? No. They drop even more, less than 10% of high schoolers display consistent divergent thinking. And what happens with adults? And this study has continued and now covers more than 250,000 adults. The sad news is that less than 2% display this type of creativity. And these are bad news, no doubt about it, because this study is robust in terms of statistics and also normalized. But the good news is that normal is not natural, because the natural thing would be to develop, as you gain more knowledge in the world, your divergent creativity. So what is natural? And natural is using your brain in the way it was supposed to be used and developed. And we have an underlying name for this: mental literacy. Therefore, what is the correct formula for developing mental literacy? And I'll share with you one of the most powerful formulas for achieving this goal: the mind map, which represents the architecture of thinking. In this case, this mind map depicts information, in other words, thoughts or a train of thinking about the great pyramids of Egypt. Mind maps are an analogy of the natural thinking process. And the central image represents the concept neuron that connects and expands ideas. And these ideas are expanded at different levels of detail along the cerebral cortex in a radiant and systemic fashion. Mind maps use keywords for synthesizing knowledge and colors for categorizing knowledge and setting priorities. Mind maps enable analysis by breaking down topics into their finer details, but at the same time, they synthesize loads of information into essential buckets of knowledge. They enable logical thinking and also motivate imagination through images and associations, which fuel creativity and innovation. Mind maps offer a detailed view of information, but also enable a systemic view to observe the whole picture and the underlying relationships. And mind maps enable cognitive flexibility by combining different modes of thinking, such as convergent and divergent thinking. Mind maps engage the whole thinking skills in a synergetic fashion, expanding our capabilities virtually to the infinitum. And mind maps not only develop our core thinking skills, but enable the implementation of mission-critical applications. One of them is knowledge management. And this is a great example of the power of synthesis of the mind map. This very mind map contains on a single canvas the most relevant information of the 7 Harry Potter books and its universe, including the magical creatures, the teachers, and the students. So mind maps are a powerful tool for managing knowledge. Mind maps are also an excellent tool for aligning vision with strategies and actions, ensuring that short-term plans are connected to long-term strategies. And mind maps are a great tool for fostering divergent thinking and innovation. And this is because of their power of association, recombination, synthesis, connection, incubation of ideas, etc. And mind maps enable us to extract the signal from the noise. For example, by harnessing all the power of artificial intelligence language-based models such as ChatGPT. And this mind map is an example of how to simplify and optimize the prompt creation process by using your critical thinking skills in a radiant and systemic fashion. First, you have to define the profile and type of expertise that the artificial model should use. For example, become an expert in project management or an expert in discovering new medications, etc. Second, you have to be specific and clear about your prompt and provide the right context so the model has a solid departing point. Third, you should guide the algorithm through sequential examples that allow the model to better understand the instructions. Again, apply systemic thinking and also cognitive flexibility. Next, you should provide instructions and potential questions to solve so the model knows how to respond. In the fifth step, you define the format of the answer, for example, a list, a table, or even a mind map. You also set the style, such as creative or conversational, and also the length that you require for the answer. And finally, after the model produces the answer, you need to humanize and personalize the content for refining the value by iterating through several learning cycles. So mind maps are excellent tools for optimizing the interaction with artificial intelligence models. In conclusion, this funny world opens better opportunities than ever for the human being. And this is by nurturing essential skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, systemic thinking, cognitive flexibility, logical thinking, synthetic thinking, etc. As my beloved Tony Buzan used to say, one thing remains unchanged: the power of human thinking. So it's not man versus machine. It's about harnessing the potential of AI while maintaining our unique human edge. It's not a fight against AI. In fact, you are fighting against other people who know how to use AI. So you should be able to use AI by displaying all your power in terms of your core thinking skills. So there is hope for a bright future. Florent dendritae. May your dendrites flourish.